When justice failed, they took it into their own hands. A secret team of Holocaust survivors who called themselves the Avengers. Their mission: make 6 million Germans pay. In 1945, the war was ending. The camps were being liberated. The world was seeing what the Nazis had done. The gas chambers, the mass graves, the smoke still rising from the ruins of genocide. For most survivors, the war ended there. But for a small group of men and women, it didn't. They had survived the Holocaust, but they couldn't simply walk away. Not after what they'd seen. They called themselves Nakam, meaning revenge in Hebrew. Others called them the Avengers. Their leader was a man named Abba Kovner, a poet, a partisan fighter, and a survivor from the Vilna ghetto. Kovner wasn't just haunted by what had happened. He was burning with purpose. He believed the Nazis hadn't truly been punished, that too many of them had blended back into society, that justice wasn't enough. There had to be vengeance, not personal revenge, symbolic revenge, a scale equal to the crime. And so, after the war, Kovner gathered a team of around 50 men and women, survivors, fighters, some who had lost entire families. They moved across the ruins of Europe, using false papers, underground networks, and weapons smuggled from army depots. Their goal was simple and terrifying: to make the German people feel the pain that Jews had felt. 6 million murdered Jews, 6 million Germans in return. They called it Plan A. Plan A was the most ambitious revenge plot in modern history. The idea was to poison the water supply in major German cities like Nuremberg, Munich, and Hamburg. They infiltrated water treatment plants, posing as displaced workers, carrying canisters of arsenic. If it had worked, millions could have died. Kovner personally traveled to the British-controlled port of Haifa, disguised as a member of the Jewish Brigade, to secure poison for the plan. But fate intervened. British agents discovered what he was carrying. He was arrested before he could return to Germany. The canisters were thrown into the sea. Plan A was over before it began, yet the Avengers didn't stop. They launched Plan B. If they couldn't poison all of Germany, they would target the men who had done the killing. SS officers, Nazi guards, camp administrators now being held in Allied prisons. Their new plan was to poison the bread in the POW camps. In April 1946, a team of Nakam members infiltrated a bakery in Nuremberg that supplied food to imprisoned SS men. They brushed arsenic onto hundreds, maybe thousands of loaves. The next morning, prisoners began to collapse. U.S. military authorities confirmed over 2,000 Nazi prisoners were hospitalized, but none died. Historians still debate why. Maybe the arsenic wasn't strong enough. Maybe it was diluted. Maybe it was just mercy disguised as failure. The group scattered soon after. Some joined the fight for the creation of Israel. Others tried to rebuild their lives. Kovner himself went on to become a celebrated poet in the new state of Israel. But he never forgot Nakam. He once said, "Our revenge was that we lived." For decades, the story of the Avengers was whispered more than spoken. Half legend, half secret history. But in truth, these were ordinary people who had seen unimaginable horror and refused to let it go unanswered. They weren't saints or monsters. They were survivors trying to make sense of justice in a world that had lost its meaning. They failed to kill millions, but perhaps they succeeded in something else, forcing the world to face the question, when justice isn't enough, what then? Because for them, revenge wasn't just about death. It was about memory. It was about never letting the world forget.